I wish your baby is born with Down syndrome. I got a news that your baby died in your womb and your baby should die while you give birth, not feel her heartbeat. And I was really, really scared when we went there for like a month of baby moon. कौन सा delivery था? C-section था कि vaginal था?
Don't take anything personally if the person who's saying it is someone who doesn't know you personally.
अरे आपने सही नहीं किया. The way you're raising your child is not right.
It's
And I always
understand.
feel the urge of giving back. And
I think
used to.
it makes me sad. Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome to today's episode of The Real Deal with Anamsi. And I'm particularly excited for this episode because it's our Mother's Day special. I wanted to have a super mom on this episode, and I feel like creators juggle so many hats and do so many things, and so do moms, obviously. So I thought we would mix the two and bring on board a creator mom who can really take us into what the journey is like in being of course, a creator mom, finding balance, the difficulties, the pros, the cons, and really deep dive into that. So today on the pod, I have Shanice Shrestha. Hi, welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy that we are finally doing this. Like, finally I get to talk to someone openly and freely about all the things that goes into being a mom and a content creator as well.
I'm very excited for this too, I swear, because I feel like you're someone, I feel like we met first in about 2017.
Yes,
I
correct.
was newly married at the time.
Yeah,
And we were all on a press trip to Abu Dhabi,
Abu Dhabi,
together.
yes.
And I had the nicest time with Shanice. There was
Yeah.
Santoshi, Osama, Nikhil.
Yes.
All of us were together. And I felt like something clicked because she's so simple, so
Yes.
easy to get along with. There's something so like chill about your energy. You're like
Yeah, I'm very chilled out, very simple that way.
very bubbly,
Yeah.
very like do
Grounded
your own
also,
thing.
yes.
Yeah, I love that. And of course, we've followed each other for so long. We've
Yeah.
observed each other's journeys for so long, and
Yes.
obviously saw your entire journey from getting pregnant, delivering your child. I feel like
Yeah.
I've seen your child grow on Instagram over the past years, and so many
Yeah.
others. And I thought this would be the perfect occasion to sit down and have this conversation with you and ask you how the hell are you doing all this? Like, what's going on? Where's the extra hour? Where's Hermione's time turner? How are you managing all of these different hats together?
Honestly, I did not think that it will be all possible for me to like ace motherhood, but something happens. There's some magic or something that God does to you once you become a mom. Everything is possible all of a sudden. You feel like I can do anything, like it's just 24 hours, but you feel like you've done things worth like 3 days together in a day, and it just feels amazing. I feel like every day I'm in awe that I can actually do those things for myself and for my baby. So I just feel like it's just a thing that falls on you once you become a mom. You can just do anything.
You make it sound so like almost like magical. Yeah.
It is magical. Motherhood is magical. Oh my god, I didn't believe it until I became one, but it is magical.
What is a typical creator mom day-to-day life for you like? How does your day start and what's the flow of your
Honestly,
day
like for me, I don't have help at home. Like I take care of Sky all by myself because she doesn't just go along with a nanny. So for me, every morning when I wake up, the first 2 to 3 hours, honestly, it's just with her, like feeding her, taking care of her, giving her a shower or stuff like that, and playing with her. And other than that, then I have to be like, okay, I need to do things. So when she's sleeping is when I actually start to like do things. So for me, I make sure that I have 2 to 3 hours set aside throughout the day to do something content wise. So that's how my day actually kind of looks like nowadays. But some days I'm not able to do anything at all. It doesn't go like the way I planned it in my head. So it's okay. I'm like used to it now. Before I used to get like really disappointed that, oh my god, I'm not able to shoot anything. I had this idea but I can't execute it. And now I think after a year and a half, I feel like I'm slowly learning how to manage time during my day to like even focus on content creation and even being a mom and not missing out on that part, because that for me is very important. So it's something like that right now.
Is there a particular reason why you don't want help, or does she just not get along, like she needs you?
Actually, she does need me, and we did get her help in the middle, but I felt like there was this help, but I had to do everything for Sky because she was like, no, my mama will do it for me. And then eventually it just felt like nanny sometimes don't give the amount of attention or love that you could give your child. I just feel like I'm a very possessive mom, and I feel like more than Sky wants to be with me all the time, I feel like I want to be with Sky all the time. It's kind of weird, but so when she's with someone, I just feel very impatient, and I feel like, oh my god, is she safe? If she's eaten all right? So I just feel like that's the reason it didn't work out, because I felt like the nanny was not doing it the way I would do it, and even Sky was not very comfortable. So it was just that.
But you keep help around the house for other
Yeah,
things.
of course. Those things I cannot manage. Like I remember being a mom in the start, and trying to cook my own meals, and I used to be like, we're ordering takeout every single.
This is when you guys were in Canada.
In Canada, no, when we got back from Canada, and it was like we're eating from out every single day, and that time you really need to eat healthy. And I'm like, breastfeeding her and eating from the out, I just felt like my health was suffering. So I decided that finally I'm going to keep a cook. So now the cook makes it very easy. She comes, makes our breakfast and meals, so it's easier that way. So for other things, of course, I need help. I can't do that without help.
I feel like for far too long, women have also been like almost like shamed about wanting and needing help. Like I get that very often from certain friends or acquaintances where they'll be like, oh, you have house help for everything and your house help lives with you. And I'm like, yeah, but I will not be shamed for it because I'm a career woman, I'm a working woman, and I work a lot. So I'm not going to try to pretend to be superwoman. I'll get the help where I need the help.
Yeah.
I won't be shamed about it at all.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, like the women in my building, also the aunties in my building, I would say, they have a lot to say about this. Like, just I think 3 weeks ago, I had this one auntie tell me, I think पूरे society में सिर्फ आप ही एक हो जिसके पास नैनी नहीं अपने बच्चे के लिए. Very good job. बाकी सबके पास तो नैनी है, कोई अपने बच्चे पे ध्यान नहीं देता. So I was like, नहीं auntie, I don't think ऐसा है. I think everybody has their own works to do, and अगर नैनी रखना है तो अच्छी बात है ना. You just get extra help with the baby. So she was not very happy with the answer I gave her. I could see that I probably offended her, but it's a very normal thing. I think not my in-laws or my parents, they are very, very supportive about this, that if you need help, you should get help. But I see like the extended family people, that they will say, oh, आप तो घर में कुछ नहीं करते आजकल के तो, they have everything. It's so easy to take care of a kid nowadays, they say. Like आज के ज़माने में बच्चे तो पल जाते हैं. It's so easy. हमारे टाइम पे तो हमको सब करना पड़ता था. It's like, what's the meaning of पल जाते थे?
झाड़ थोड़ी ना है जो उग जाएंगे.
It's like, you have to give them all the more attention, being in the period that we are, because we are so, like you said, we are so career oriented and we are so focused on our work and we want to do it all, that it becomes all the more difficult for us to raise our child today with all the challenges. But nobody understands that, and I just feel like the best thing to do is just ignore, like suno और निकाल दो दूसरे कान से, and just live your life the way you want to.
I also feel like somewhere we're so privileged to be able to, like, you're so privileged to be in that position where you're like, I live a flexible life and I can do this. And if you can do this, why shouldn't you? Like, it's your choice.
Yeah, that's true.
It all comes down to what your choices are.
Yeah, it's true, very true. I think it just depends. Like, if you make a choice in your head that this is how I want to lead my life, it should be that way, and you should not let others take over that process in your head, because once that happens, now you feel very unhappy, you feel imbalanced in your life. So I feel like it's very important to tell yourself that it's okay, everyone's gonna have an opinion about how your life should be and how you should lead your life, but do yourself and do your way anyways. So that's my mantra, and even Nikhil's mantra in life, so that's good.
And in any case, I feel like when it comes to your dual side of the life, right? Creator life and mom life. As creators, we're constantly getting, I won't say, maybe I should use the word bashed for like, oh, as if we have it all easy. I mean, yes, of course, there are privileges, but we've also worked our way to now have the privileges that we have, right? Because we've been around for as long as we have.
So true.
Newer creators may not have the privileges that we have, but we have them because we've worked our way to certain.
And I think it was way difficult back in the days,
Yeah.
to like finally get the acknowledgement from your audience or from brands as well. Now I feel like it's already set by the older creators, and now it's easier for the newer creators to like, pave their way into this industry. Don't you think?
I feel like there's pros and cons. While they have that way paved to follow, it's so much more competitive now. It's almost saturated now, so I feel like there's pros and there's cons, and they weigh themselves out
that's
in
true.
a weird way.
Yeah, that's true.
But do I remember correctly, it was you who encouraged Nikhil to start vlogging? Is my memory serving me right?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
I think we had that conversation in Abu Dhabi, and for some reason it's something that stuck with me, and I'll tell you why, and I'm going to be really candid over here. I was obviously doing like a lot of research and figuring out, things I want to talk to you about on the pod, tough questions, easy things I just want to discuss. And people were like, oh, she's Nikhil's wife, and people knew that you guys were together. And I was like, wait, if I remember correctly, she encouraged Nikhil to start in the first place. So don't enough people know that? Is that not something you've mentioned publicly
I
before?
think people do know that. A lot of his audience does know that, and even my audience knows it. But I just think that people are so used to just picking out on the internet that somehow I feel like I'm always just the target with his audience somehow. Like, I still remember when we were dating and when we announced that we're dating, a lot of people were like, oh, she's a gold digger. Why are you like, being with her? You can get someone better. And even when you get married, even though we share like every financial responsibility or any other responsibility, otherwise, I feel like it's so easy on the internet that people just have assumptions about your life. And so I feel like the audience knows, a lot of them are very supportive, and I'm sure as a content creator, when you speak to your audience in real life, you will understand that the very sensible and
Evolved audience, as I like to call them,
doesn't really comment so easily on the videos and on your comment section, but when you speak to them in real life, they have such great things to tell you. And other people, sometimes they don't even watch your videos, but when they see the title that something great is happening, they'll just come and write mean things to make you feel pathetic about your life, because they're like, why is this person growing? So it took me quite a lot of time to understand that, what, I'm way greater than what people tell me, and sometimes it just reflects who they are and not what you are as a person. So I feel like it's okay, whatever they want to say. Like Nikhil always tells me, they don't know our journey. They don't know what went at the backside, right? So it's okay. Let them say whatever they want to say. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change your and my relationship or how we are here. So it's okay for me. But let them say whatever they want.
But credit where credit's due, right? Like, it was you who encouraged him, and I feel like it's so nice that both of you have managed to find that rhythm of doing it together. Because I did follow some of your vlogs when you guys were in Canada, especially for like Sky's Delivery, which, by the way, I thought was a great move. I feel like I just want to state this for the record more than anything else. It's okay if you don't want to say something about this, because I did see and read a lot of people almost bashing you guys for delivering your kid in another country.
Yeah.
And I feel like anyone that wants to, what's the right word for it, uplift their child's lifestyle or give them more opportunities than they probably had themselves, and has the capacity to do it, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when I'm not joking, in the last 3 years, I have at least 40 friends who've moved to Canada. And why are they doing it now? Because it seems like a greener pasture to move to.
Yeah.
So if you're in a position to give your child that from birth, that's your choice. Why the hell not?
Yeah.
Right? So, and of course, because you're vloggers, you're going to share your journey.
Yes.
So I remember my heart really went out to you guys at that time, because I was like, they're just doing what's right for their kid. And I can't believe that people on the internet will, micro-analyze and over-analyze this in a way that seems so twisted. And for some reason, it's always easier to hate on the woman.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, honestly, it's really sad. I still remember when I think about those days, probably the time that me and Nikhil spent in Canada was one of the most beautiful times of our lives, because we were just all alone without any other family members. And it felt such fresh time spending all our time together. There was nobody, I could just lead my pregnancy journey the way I wanted to, and that made us super happy. We have so many memories. And the part of delivering our baby in Canada was not actually planned. It was like, my baby is prematurely born. 8 months, and I still remember I could not feel her heartbeat, and I was really, really scared when we went there for like a month of baby moon. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, is this your first pregnancy? I said, yes, it is my first pregnancy, and I can't feel my baby since the last 24 hours. And I was just like, I already had this anxiety episodes, and I felt like I was getting an anxiety attack. My blood pressure was on the rise, and I just found a doctor there at that moment, and I went there, and I still remember the doctor checked, and she took quite some time to establish the heartbeat of the baby, and then finally we could hear it, and I was relieved. And I told her that I'm flying in the next 2 weeks back to India, and she was like, I'm really sorry to say, but I feel like you should I just feel like there are things that may not be right. So I don't know if you want to risk going back all the way, because if you have like by chance, if you happen to have labor in the flight, I don't know how it will go, because you need like a proper assistance.
And so what week were you in over here?
I was, I think, on my 27th week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was really scared, okay? And then when Nikhil was scared, he saw me, I was crying and everything, and then we had to make a decision. And then, Nikhil is very, very practical, and he said, what, why not? It'll be such a great thing if we can deliver the baby here, and Sky will be a Canadian, then it'll be great. Why not, right? So I spoke to my mom and dad. It was very difficult, thinking I won't have my mom in the delivery room with me, and it's my first birth. How is it going to go? But then Nikhil was very supportive, and we finally made our decision that, what, it's okay. We're just going to do it here, and everything went great after that. But I still remember when we announced, like, Nikhil was getting weird comments like to deshtrohi hai, you guys don't love the country. And then it just crossed the roof and I started getting mails like, I wish your baby is born with Down syndrome. I got a news that your baby died in your womb and your baby should die while you give birth. And that to me was the most horrifying experience. And when I told that to Nikhil, I still remember I had this time in my room where I just didn't want to go out or make any videos or see anything. I'm getting goosebumps when I talk about it because that's how hurt I felt at that moment, that people are actually writing that about a baby who's not even born, who's so innocent, you know. And
That's so disgusting.
it's disgusting, I'm telling you. And you, if you'll see the mails, you'll be like traumatized that how can they write those things. And I got like at least 20 to 30 of them. Unless when Nikhil told me, you're not going to open your mails, you're not going to post any video, don't read your comment section. And that's what exactly I did. I was like, you know what, it's okay. And he pulled me out from that dark space where I felt like, dude, this is not worth it. I mean, there is a certain limit that you draw of telling a woman who's with a baby, like, you cannot say these things. These are absolutely mean.
You don't say these things to anybody, let alone a pregnant woman.
And I felt so bad. And I still remember when I went into labor in my 8th month. Like, it was going to be 8 months complete and 1 week before that, and the baby just came out with a natural delivery, which I'm very happy. Everything went as planned, but I still remember I was expecting the baby to be out like after a month, and it was early, and I was so scared because, you know, these things play in your mind that, you know, what if something goes wrong? I don't have my family here and stuff like that. But the delivery did go as planned. And then after that, I remember, like, I had this mood swings and hormonal changes, and for a week after my birth, my blood pressure was on the rise, and I had to be shifted in an emergency room, put on like what do you call it, magnesium and everything, because my blood pressure was just not dropping. And they were like, you know, if we send you home, you can get like a heart attack or you can die or something like that, because they said that things happen in Canada. And I was so scared. So a lot of this did play with my mind, I would say. But finally, I feel like that phase made me so strong that now I don't care what people say. It's like, it's not worth it. They say they can go to any extent to make you feel bad.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, it does. Very strong. Mentally very strong.
I can't remember where I read this, so I think I heard someone say this, and I wish I could remember so I could give them credit for this. But what I heard was to the effect of, when you don't take anything personally if the person who's saying it is someone who doesn't know you personally.
Yeah, that's true.
And that really stayed with me. I just wish I could be able to credit the source, but it really stayed with me because I was like, oh my God, there is so many times, you know, we all read things about ourselves every once in a while, and it sometimes you let it go, and sometimes it affects you because we're all human.
Sometimes you're just in a bad mood, or, you know, day has not gone exactly planned, or you're overtired, and when you read these things, you cannot shoo them off.
And sense of self and self-confidence is not a linear journey, right? You have good days and you have bad days.
Exactly.
And for me, I'm one of those people, it's not good for me at all, because the problem with me is that when I read things about people, I know it affects me as well, because I'm like, this is not nice. This wasn't what happened, or why is, like, I'm someone who
that happens to me too.
Yeah, right.
And I always feel the urge of giving back. And
I think it makes me sad. It just makes me really sad. I'm working on it. Maybe it should go into the zone of I should give it back. As of right now, I'm in the zone of it makes me sad.
I give back first and then I start feeling bad. But now Nicholas told me, don't even give back. You know, the best answer to these kind of people is ignorance. They should feel like it didn't reach you at all.
How does that work for you too? Because, I mean, my first, like I said, interaction with you guys was Abu Dhabi 2017. And even then I remember he came across as someone who was so protective of you.
Yeah.
Is he also possessive, or is he only protective?
He's protective, not possessive.
Are you possessive?
No. None of us are possessive. We are very like, take your time, take your space kind of people.
That's nice, no?
But Nikhil is overprotective. And he's also very strict. It's like being married to a mother figure.
Really? Give me an example of strict.
Like, you know, after, like, my mom used to tell me, I'm so glad you're getting married to Nikhil, because, like, you won't miss your mom. He just does exactly. He'll yell at you. He'll make sure you're doing everything right. So very good. I'm very happy you found the right guy. And at home, like, if I'm not sitting straight, right? So Nikhil will be like, he'll put a tapli on my head. Sit straight.
I'm adjusting myself.
If I didn't work out, he's like, what's the time? I think someone forgot how to go to their workout. Go get it done right now. So he's very strict. Have you drank your water today? Have you eaten food? You said you're not going to eat Chinese today. Why is it here? My God. So he is like, he has his time that he gives me space, but also at the same time, he's very like, he's like, please do this, do that kind of person. So I don't miss my mom. I tell her sometimes I just have my mom here in my house with me.
What are you strict about? What do you pick on him for?
So I think I'm not strict with Nikhil at all. I'm a very easygoing person. And the only thing I'm strict about right now is like if he's doing too much masti with Sky, and I feel like it's going to hurt her because men just go like, they do anything with the baby, and that makes me really scared. So that's the only time I get angry with him. But otherwise, I'm not an angry person. I'm a very easygoing, chilled out person. Do whatever you want that makes you happy.
How do you guys as a couple find the balance between who vlogs about what? I've always wondered that because, like, for example, obviously Gerard's not a vlogger, right?
Yeah.
There are days when I wish he was because I'm like, I'd have another POV to add into this video.
Yeah.
So few instances where he's listened to my nagging on that front, and he'll take a couple of snippets and I'll insert that montage into a vlog. But you guys have separate channels. It's not a couple channel.
Yeah.
So how do you find the balance? Like, if it's Sky's birthday, who's posting that vlog? Because it's the same thing. Whoever posts it first is going to get more views.
So honestly, like before marriage, our vlogs used to be very, very similar because we're traveling all the time together, and everything was very similar. All the places we've been to, what we're doing, and everything. So our vlogs used to be so same that people used to say sometimes that it looks like we're watching the same content in both the channels with just different perspectives. So that time I really faced this thing like, oh, should I post the video or should he post the video first? But then Nikhil is someone who daily vlogs. He vlogs every day and he posts it the next day itself. And I do it like maybe twice in a week or thrice in a week. And on good weeks, all the days. So that's very rare now because I'm so busy with Sky. She falls sick or something like that. So I take a lot of breaks nowadays. But now it's so easy because Nikhil is like vlogging every day and posting it, and I'm just doing it sometimes. And I think as a mother and father, you have such a different perspective about things. Like he will share about his bikes, about his cars, about things that he's doing, workout and stuff. And I have a very motherly and homely sort of things that are happening. So now it's very different. So it's easier for us to post vlogs now, I would say.
Is there a we won't vlog this set of do's and don'ts you guys have?
Yes, we do have.
What's that like?
Before we used to be like, we're not going to share very, very private moments. Some things are just for us and not for the audience to know. And that's something we follow even now. Like sometimes some moments are so beautiful that you're almost tempted that you want to share it with the audience, and it's going to give you like a great amount of views. Yeah. But we just have this kind of set of rules that if something is too beautiful now, we'll just keep it between us, because that way it stays special and it remains only for us and not for the audience. Because what happens when you share a very beautiful moment, sometimes everybody has like their own opinions about that beautiful moment, and I feel like it kind of spoils the beauty of it. So even now we have like these rules that if we are vlogging with Sky, we will never ever tell her what to do on camera. It should always be her in her natural element, because the moment we ask our child to act, that kind of seems wrong to me, because she's a part. We make vlogs with her honestly is because we want memories to be kept forever. Like, I don't know if you know, but whenever like if you look at your past vlogs, you feel so nice. You feel like, oh wow, those were such beautiful times. You get to see yourself, how you were looking, how you were, how your relationship was. So for us, we make vlogs with her so that we have memories like forever, and we can see how she exactly was on that day, on that time, on that particular month. So we just feel like growing as she grows, we just don't want her to act on camera or never to realize that this is the camera in front of me and I need to be a certain way. So we are very careful about that. Yeah, it's very important. We feel like it can just disturb her mindset or make her feel like I'm famous. We don't want that at all, because once that happens, she won't lead a normal childhood, right? Everyone around her will be like, you're famous, we see your videos, we know what you do, arey tune ye kiya, wo kiya. So we don't want that.
I love that you said you're vlogging to capture those memories with her, right? Because I look at vlogging like that for myself.
Yeah.
I have to give you a little anecdote. I didn't know what literal daily vlogging was like till I met you guys, because I was very new to YouTube. 2017 is when I started YouTube. And I don't know if you remember, but on that trip I wasn't even vlogging.
I
think
remember.
there was maybe a montage-ish vlog that went up, one from the entire trip. But I have this very clear memory of you and Nikhil at the end of every day would go to bed early so you could wake up at 5 a.m. and edit it and post it before we started day 2 itinerary.
Yes.
So it's very fascinating fascinating to me for my own journey that now I vlog regularly and I
Yeah.
don't daily vlog.
Yeah.
Except when it's Vlogmas.
Yeah.
But I vlog on the regular basis, and the satisfaction of vlogging is way beyond any other produced content that I've ever done.
So true. Even I feel so happy the day I make a vlog and I've edited and it's like going to be released very soon. I feel so happy, that sense of achievement or satisfaction that finally, I get to share this day, this wonderful day of my life with my audience. So I feel very nice too. And I still remember back then in 2017, I think that's when I started vlogging too. Nikhil was behind me that you should start vlogging. And because he's like almost a teacher when it comes to vlogging, so he used to tell me what you should do and not do. And I remember telling him that I want to release my vlogs when I go back because I want to enjoy this trip. And he was like, no, see, I'm posting from here. And if you won't post from here, it's going to be the same content. Nobody's going to watch. So please do it right now. So he would wake me up in the morning. Come on, edit your vlog now. I'm also doing it when you work. So I still remember those days very clearly. But now to me, it comes very naturally. Sometimes like I'm shocked that you get up, you film your own videos, you've edited and posted them also. So yeah, it's quite a journey like of vlogging for me.
How long has it been for both of you?
I think together or
No,
vlogging?
like individually.
For Nikhil, I think it's been 7.58 years now.
Okay.
Vlogging since 2015. Yeah. 2015, and for me I started in 2017, so I would say 5 or 6 years.
Wait, so you encouraged him to
Yeah.
start his channel, and then you waited for 2 years
So
to start.
actually,
your vlog?
he had his channel, but what he was doing is he was making motor vlogs, and he used to just talk about his bikes and stuff, and not share his life as vlogs. So I remember telling him, Nikhil, just imagine अगर तू अपना life share करेगा और जैसे तू बात करता है वैसे ही कर. Maybe it's something new, किसने देखा नहीं है इंडिया में, but what if it works out for you? Just give it a try. And I remember he tried it, and it worked out so well for him. So it was like that. I motivated him first, but his like the way he shoots, the way he like tells a story in his vlog is very different and very unique, and it worked out for him that way. So I started way later on.
Is there something you've changed from that time to now for yourself? I mean, from the point of view of course, Shanice the Traveler, you guys as a couple, and then a married couple. I think you guys also vlogged your wedding days. Do I remember correctly?
Yeah, we did.
That's quite something.
Yeah, we
Because
did.
I'm like, that I don't think I would have done even if I was a vlogger at the time. Because like just bandwidth and emotional bandwidth beyond anything.
I know that. I still remember Nikhil telling me, see, Shanice, I'm going to be in my room getting ready, and you're going to be in your room getting ready. And I think this day is something we would want our children to see in the future, and we would want to see it after some years. Imagine seeing your point of view, how you're feeling, what you're wearing, your makeup, how it's getting done and everything. So he convinced me that you should do it. And I still remember after we got done, like the day one was the Hindu wedding, and after it got over, I actually came to my room still in my lehenga. I was like, editing my video, and I even posted it in the morning the next day. So I feel like it was very exciting. I'm glad I did it. That time I was not convinced, but I'm glad I did it because now I have memories for a lifetime.
Does Sky see these videos, and is she able to identify that this is my mom and this is my dad and this is me if she watches a video where
very
she's
easily. Oh my god, she has a big white smile on her face if she sees her on like the TV or on the phone. She's like, oh, that's me, because she's always looking at herself in the mirror and she's like smiling away. Oh, I'm so beautiful. Oh, this is me.
So cute.
So yeah, she understands that. That's why she's a very smart, intellectual baby, honestly. So sometimes I'm like, my god, she understands everything. So we showed her like our marriage video, and she had this look like, she has this typical expression that she's like looking, and then she does this expression like, why am I not there? My mama and dada, why am I not there?
so cute.
Yeah, so she does understand, and she has this beautiful reaction. Like, I think just 3 days ago we were playing a Prague video when me and Nikhil just started dating, and she was looking at us like, what is this? She like, mama does look a little changed, but she like, oh, that's dada and mama. So she does understand.
When you announced your pregnancy on social media,
Yeah.
did you have that whole झुंड of people coming in giving you advice कि ये मत खाना, वो मत करना, ये मत करना, अब ये करना, अभी वो करना, अब ये नहीं करना?
Of course, I had the entire world, my entire DMs, my comment section, everything was filled. कि ये करो, travel मत करना अब से, तीखा मत
You
खाना.
traveled a lot in your pregnancy.
I did, because I told you, like, I listen to what people say, but I do what I want to do. That's how life should be lived, right?
Yeah,
So I still remember, they're like, अरे तीखा मत खाना, आप भागना मत, आप cycling मत करना. I was on a weight loss journey, not even knowing that, I'm pregnant. I still remember cycling and jogging like a mad person, even losing weight at that moment. When I found out I was pregnant, I was like shocked, because first of all, it was just like the 3 months was just complete of our marriage, and it was not a planned pregnancy. So for me, the first thing that happened to me was like, when I found out I was pregnant, I was shocked. I was like, is this for real? Is this test wrong? And I remember going to Nikhil and almost crying, not being happy, crying. Then Nikhil, I just got married. What is the world going to say that we are so desperate? Like, we just got pregnant so fast.
Oh God, no! Is that really what you were thinking?
No. I'm telling you that actually happened to me. I was so happy. 50%
But did people
of me.
say that to you?
Yeah, you know what? People started telling us that they were actually pregnant before the marriage. That's why they got married all of a sudden as a surprise. And people, when Sky was born, they actually calculated कि अरे and they're like, अच्छा नहीं आप तो 2 या 3 months में pregnant हुए. Like before that, they were like, आप शादी के पहले ही pregnant हो गए. These are the comments that I used to get, and I used to laugh about them because I was like, yeah, they don't know यार क्या बोल रहे हैं, like. But literally so many people, you should have some shame. Your guys got married with 7 फेरा लिया, 7 फेरा नहीं ले सकते pregnant होके. कुछ I think 5 या 4 लेते हैं. I didn't know about those things, but all those things they used to comment and tell me, and everyone had their own opinion. When we travel, they're like, क्यों travel कर रहे हो, तुम बच्चों को मार दोगे, and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, everyone has something or the other to say. What should I do?
I love how you're so candid about the fact that your pregnancy wasn't planned, right? Because we've seen a lot of people not really talk about that. And the reason I feel it's important to talk about that is because there's people who follow us that possibly also have had unplanned pregnancies.
True.
That are, that's normal.
Yeah.
I got attacked quite a bit. I was pregnant earlier this year. I talked
know.
about my miscarriage journey on social media. And believe it or not, I had so many people whose first instinctive question to ask me was, oh, but was it planned? I'm like, wait, first of all, yes, it was planned. But even if it wasn't planned, does it mean that the loss should feel lesser? Like, I'm confused. Why is that even a matter of discussion, right?
Exactly, it shouldn't be.
Even the fact that people love to come up to women right after birth and say, hey, did you have a vaginal birth or a C-section?
Yeah.
I'm like, why is it anybody else's business? I love your candidness with which you approach it, but nobody should be in a position to like demand that information of you.
Yeah, that's so true.
Have you got that? Have people come to you and been like, what birth did you have? And how could you be so... I know I've seen that. So, like, how could you be so silly about getting pregnant? About, like, were you not... I've heard all of those kind of things.
Yeah, I know.
So, how did you deal with it?
So, honestly, I still remember, like, because we filmed a vlog, like a birth labor vlog. So, people knew that I did, like, a vaginal birth. But I still remember, like, my mother-in-law telling me, you are unfit. You've put on a lot of weight. So, you definitely are going to have a C-section. I can bet any amount of money on that. And I still remember Nikhil telling her, like, no offense to her, but like Nikhil telling her ki, mom, you should not say those things right now. There's so much time. She's only like 3 months pregnant, and you know, you telling her that it's her first time. She's already nervous. You shouldn't be telling her stuff like that. I remember mom telling me that don't worry, everyone's gonna have some or the other opinion. Just keep your calm, because the more calmer you are, the more easier it's gonna be for you to get through. And I still remember when we announced her pregnancy, and I very honestly told that I was so scared in the start that I just got pregnant and I was not prepared for it in my head, you know. Like, I feel like a small kid in my head who just got married. How am I going to be a mom? Because being a mother is such a big responsibility, and I was very nervous, very scared, so happy about it, but yet so scared. And I remember so many women coming up to me later on telling me that we also just got married, and your story actually gives us hope that it's okay if we become a mother early. Because nowadays, if you see, people are very career oriented, like you see, and it's very normal that you'll become a mother later on. And sometimes people, when you get like pregnant early, they say, itna kya desperation tha aapko bachcha karne ke liye itne jaldi, you had so much time, why you did it so jaldi? So I have this question asked from so many people. Like, they told me, you were just 25, why did you get pregnant? You could have waited for so long, enjoyed your marriage, you know, taken your time and stuff like that. I'm like, yaar, meri zindagi hai, meri marzi, I want to keep the kid. Kya bachcha abort karti kya because you're not happy? So people have these kind of opinions. And I still remember some people when they meet me, kaun sa delivery tha? C-section tha ki vaginal tha?
Did you reply to them?
I'm like, I don't want to say anything. So I'm like, अरे बच्चा आ गया ना बाहर, आपको क्या करना है? Literally, like, I think most of the women, they don't mean any offense to you, but I think it's just so natural that they just want to ask you, क्या है? दोनों way में बच्चा बाहर आए, you become a mom anyways.
But it's
right?
so personal, right?
Yeah.
Like, even the fact that people ask, like, you got married, you got pregnant within 3 to 4 months. I've been married for 6 years.
Yeah.
And my actually decision to, you know, I changed my mind about not wanting to have kids and then wanting to have kids through the pandemic. A lot of things went through my mind emotionally, mentally. And I feel like people are like, wait, but you don't want to. I said, is this really the right time for you to be asking me why I decided to want to start a family?
Exactly.
Like, timing is everything, and personal boundaries are also.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's your life. You get the take to do whatever you want to do in your life, right? People forget that sometimes, they think like, oh, ये हम इसको देखते हैं YouTube पे देखते हैं, Instagram पे देखते हैं, तो हमारे पास पूरा राइट है इसको पूछने का कि क्या चल रहा है ज़िंदगी में और क्यों चल रहा है. Like even if you're doing something, अरे आपने ये सही नहीं किया, the way you're raising your child is not right. You should do it this way. You should do it that way. Like sometimes Sky watches Cocomelon and they come to me and they're like, you're not doing a good job at parenting at all. You're showing her Cocomelon. You shouldn't. If as a mom, I would never do it. As a father, I would never do
like a nursery rhyme show?
Yeah, and it's the most sensible cartoon out there, honestly. And I see like Skyu learns so much through it. And if my child is enjoying it, I know where to stop it and where not to. Please let me do it. But they have all sorts of opinions about it. Like sometimes they're like, yaar, I'm fed up. Please stop.
Have you had any of those instances where people have come up to you and Sky and tried to pick her up or tried to...
Oh, yes. My God, I feel like I'm not okay with that. I and Nikhil both as a parent were very, very overprotective about our child. And I feel like, yes, you watch our videos and when you come say, oh, your baby is cute, we love her, she brings a smile on her face, it makes me very happy, honestly. So happy. But sometimes some people just come, like I still remember we were in Kerala for an award function and we were sitting in the restaurant. There's this lady who just gets up from one table and she comes, the baby is in my hand, takes Caillou by her shoulder and trying to pick her up. And I got so angry because I was like, my mind couldn't register. Is she like just taking her away and going, what is it? And then I told her, excuse me, you just can't take my baby away from my hand. You have to ask permission. What is this behavior? I got really angry.
She was a fan.
And then what she tells me, I watch your videos, but.
That's not a subscription to...
And I was like, but there's like this basic etiquettes that you first come and say, hello, I watch your videos, I really like Sky, is it okay if I can pick her up? No, she just comes. It's like, I always was startled. She just came and she just pulled her from my arms. You get so scared. She was just 3 months old and her neck is like she's not even able to pick it up properly and you're just pulling my baby out of my arms. So yeah, I've come across that a lot of times. And now I think me and Nikhil, we just tell any subscriber that Skyu is not okay going in anyone's arms. She doesn't feel safe. So you can talk to her from afar, but don't take her in your arms. So we now say it very properly because I think it's important that we tell people and who's nice will eventually understand. And who doesn't understand just doesn't have a stable mind is what I think.
Do you subscribe to the notion of showing your child only for like a certain amount of time and not doing like dedicated baby content for fear of people like this? Like, because that's a very like I'll give you an example and I'll give you context on where I'm coming from. My podcast producer Surbhi and I were having this conversation before we started recording about parent vlogging.
Okay.
And there's gray area. There's people who are on one side of the fence who believe you shouldn't show your child at all.
At all, yeah.
And then there are people who, like me, who feel like everything in healthy balance and moderation is fine. And then as a creator, I feel like anyone who is a creator, an influencer, whether you're a micro creator, nano creator, mega creator, whatever terms we're now getting familiar with. The minute you're a creator, you turn yourself into a product for public consumption.
True.
Right? And the boundaries you draw are for you to define.
Yeah.
But children cannot define those boundaries. Having said that, as a content creator, I can vouch for the fact that whenever, inshallah, I do have a child, I'm pretty sure I would vlog my child. I don't think I would not vlog my child at all. Having said that, I don't think I would fully only vlog my child.
Yes.
So where are you on that? Because it's such a gray area. Everybody has so many different perceptions of it. I feel like an audience who's not a creator will have a different point of view and perspective.
Yeah.
Versus I feel as a creator I've been around for 12 years now. I've been on YouTube for about 5-6 years now. I come from a different journey and a different perspective.
Yeah.
So everyone has different lenses.
Correct.
Where's your lens at, and where does one say, okay, this is a hard stop, like this is a no-go?
Yeah. So for me, I think I'm very similar with you. Like I just think exactly like you that it's okay sharing your child on camera, vlogging with the baby and everything. And like I said, whenever it's very natural and everything, I like to share my life as it is, as I'm living, and that's okay. I'm not comfortable running the entire vlog basis on Sky because I feel like then people just start to be like, oh, the baby, your channel's running on the baby, or we like to see the baby, only show the baby. And then there's this extreme attention that probably now she doesn't understand, but once when she understands, and God forbid she starts reading the comment section, because kids are so, like, they're so social. They just open the like the phone and
The
read
apps,
things.
yeah.
I don't want that she reads and she's like, oh, everyone's so interested in me. I don't know what that will do to her mentality, her mindset. So I'm very, very careful about that, and so is Nikhil. So we try that we live our life and we show some parts of it that come naturally in the day for us also to see in the future. So we show that. I still remember, like, once I decided to do just a sky only vlog, because that was for me to keep as a memory when I look back in time, and people loved it so much that they started demanding only those kind of vlogs. When I told people, I'm sorry, I will not take those kind of requests, because as a mom I decide that where I should stop and where I should show my baby too much. So that's one thing I very hardcorely follow right now on my channel.
I feel like we're living in a time where, like, my nephew wants to grow up and be a gamer, a YouTubing. He wants to be a. I myself am forgetting the term for this. Wow. He wants to be a gaming YouTuber.
Yeah.
And I think that it's so fascinating because on social media you hear of Nepo babies and you think of Bollywood. But I'm like, hello, we are going to see Nepo babies in social.
Yeah.
Because we've seen them in every other industry. And if my nephew or my kid wants to grow up and do anything related to social media, you bet your ass I'm going to help them in any way I possibly can.
It's so natural. You're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say this to, and one of my cousins actually. So there's this really big age difference between my cousin and I. She lives in Australia and she wants to vlog. And my aunt and her and I were having a conversation, and she was like, she wants to make videos, she wants to review toys, and she wants to vlog. I said, hey, that's great. The world's richest YouTuber is
a kid, yeah,
8-year-old who does that.
Yeah.
So she was like, what should she like do and not do? And I was like, listen, hard stop. If you are getting on the internet, don't share your full name, don't share where you go to school, don't share where you live. Those are the 3 golden rules, like, for like having a child. So many times if I'm picking up or dropping my nephew and niece from school or dropping them home, and I would love to vlog those moments, but I don't, because they're in uniforms.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, I make sure that, okay, at this point in time, I cannot throw the camera at them.
That's true.
Do you feel like when Sky grows older, that you would be okay with her taking on the vlogging mantle from her parents and saying, okay, now I'm going to do this?
No, we're not okay with it. I and Nikhil already had a very, very serious discussion about this. And we're honestly not okay if Sky says that, Mama and Dada, I want to vlog on your channel today. We're not okay with it. We're going to very nicely explain to her that why it's not right. And I hope she follows. If doesn't, we have to, of course, be a little strict with her, because we give her all the love. But sometimes it's very important to be a little strict and tell the child that you need to stop here. So, of course, we don't want her to ever just do that. Of course, if she says, I want to review cartoons or I want to review my toys, can I do it, please? I see Mama and Dada doing it, so I want to do it. So then we'll say, of course, you can do it, but we'll not tell her that act a certain way. Just be your way. Like, we will just record her. We will ourselves take our camera and help her in making that video and make sure that she is in her most natural element while doing that, because that's very important. But I feel like we don't want her to be like a young content creator, because that brings on so much of stress unknowingly, and also the competitiveness in your head in a young age, I feel like just makes you feel doesn't make you enjoy your childhood that much. I feel that way.
But do you feel it might be good for her to do it recreationally? Maybe if she does it and get it out of her system, she won't want to become a content creator when she's
like I told you, if she feels like she wants to do something that's like very kiddish, of course we will take our cameras and shoot it and also edit and give it to her and let it upload also. But I'm like, we just want to draw some boundaries of not letting her do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
You
mentioned earlier that you also had a birth vlog.
Yes.
So what made you do that, and how did you go about executing that also? Like, how far did you go into information and sharing that part? Because it's such a personal, almost sacred experience.
Yeah. So like I still remember, my mom and dad were not there and my sister wasn't there, and I wanted to share with them exactly what happened in the room.
Right there, more power to you for doing this without family, because even the idea of that to me as I'm listening to you narrate that is so scary, because I'm like, I'm one of those people that needs to be cushioned by my parents like as much as possible. Just their presence is everything. I don't need them to do anything. I just need their presence. So the fact that you were able to do that, more power to you.
I think my strength came from being very spiritual at that moment. Like, my strength came from God. I was like, I'm going to pray every day. I'm going to keep myself as positive as I can. And I still remember when my labor was on, I was just progressing so naturally, so fast. Like I went there to the hospital. My water broke at home, and I went to the hospital, and the doctor told me your baby's coming out maybe in a day or two, and we'll just check everything. And then she comes in 5 minutes. She's like, "Oh, you're dilated already, like half the way. I think your baby's coming out in the night today." And after some time, she says, "Baby's coming out in the next 3 hours." So it was like so rapid for me, and I was like, "What's happening?" And my friend was there from Canada, and she was looking at me. She's like, "How are you so calm?" So I had this cross in my hand the whole time. So my parents are not here, but I'm just drawing energy, the parental energy from this cross. And Nikhil is so supportive. I feel like, I don't know मैंने कितने अच्छे कर्म किए होंगे अपने पिछले life में, if there is, but I found him. He's so supportive. And for me now, after getting married, I feel like I draw a lot of strength from him than more than my parents. Like right now, he's like my stronghold stone that just keeps me together and gives me the support. So he was there, and I felt like I can go through it, and I'm going to go through it. And imagine my parents are also worried somewhere on the video call, and if I be strong, they'll also get strength, right? So I was just on that mindset that day.
They didn't consider flying into Toronto for...
They didn't have a Canadian visa, and at that time, because of the COVID thing and everything, it was just getting sorted. The visas were taking longer. So my mom tried her best, but she couldn't. I've got a visa at that time.
Yeah, oh, I forgot it was it was COVID pandemic
Yeah,
time
it actually just got solved, and things were just opening up. So she didn't get a visa. It was going to take a long time for her.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like your journey is very unique because it comes from so many different lenses. It comes from so many different perspectives of just being, like I said, a creator's wife also.
Yeah.
Does it sometimes bother you that people think of you as Nikhil's wife instead of like, hello, you're a creator by yourself? Do you want to go and shake people up sometimes?
Yeah, I feel like doing that a lot of times, because sometimes we're like, oh निखिल सर की बीवी हो आप, हम आपका वीडियो देखते हैं, हम आपको उनके वीडियो में देखते हैं. And I'm like, dude, even I am a content creator by myself. Sometimes it's okay. Like, I feel proud when you address me as his wife and everything. But sometimes also you feel in your head, like, even I'm doing something, you can also acknowledge me for that. And a lot of times I've also noticed that a lot of men that I meet sometimes do it on purpose. Like, they purposely approach you and they be like, अरे आप तो निखिल सर की बीवी है, हम देखते हैं आपको उनके वीडियो में, हम आपका वीडियो नहीं देखते पर उनका वीडियो देखते हैं.
They say that.
They say it on purpose. I've seen it, and Nikhil also tells me they said it on purpose. Just ignore them, because these men, they just think like, some men, they think like, women are just not good enough, cannot do anything by themselves. So it's okay. Just let it go. Like, I still remember for Nikhil's birthday, I gave him a surprise and took him to a Europe trip, and I decided to pay for everything. Like, normally we just like do 50-50, but this time I was like, I'm surprising you, everything is going to be done by me, don't do anything, not paying for anything. So I remember people telling me, oh, Shanice and Nikhil, why you guys are lying in the video that the video is sponsored or just paid or funded by Shanice. We know it's not possible, because she's not going to earn so much money, it's from you that she's paying for this trip and stuff like that. And I keep hearing it, I'm like, I get angry sometimes. We're like, dude, I'm not taking enough of this. Like, that's it.
There's this video of this shorts. We were just talking about shorts in the break in the middle, that I posted on our 6-year engagement anniversary, which is basically Gerard's birthday last year in 2022. It was a video of him proposing to me.
Yeah.
This is pre-proposal for Instagram era, so it's not all that aesthetic, and it's what the friends took because they knew he was about to propose. And last week I was going through all my comments, and the comments on it are so absolutely, I mean, there are some really nice and heartwarming comments, but human nature, you tend to see the shitty ones and they stay with you.
Yeah.
And I found one of those threads on that shorts that has 100 replies on it, and they're all analyzing what level of a gold digger I am and how I've married someone who's so much older than me for money. And I mean, in present day, I can laugh about it, but when I'm on one of those days when it's really upsetting me, obviously I think that these vile people are just out there to take your case, and it upsets you, right?
Yeah, true.
So I see these comments and I'm like, guys, like, the running joke in our house, and we've said this in the episode where Jerry and I did an episode here on my podcast, where the running joke in our house is, Jerry, shadi ko 6 saal ho gaye. Where's the money that I married you for? I think I've earned it at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
So people love to say things like that, and I get shit like that all the time as well, where I apparently get opportunities because of him having worked in advertising before. And I'm like, we've been working together for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
Anything that we do together from here. It's not him pulling favors for me or me pulling favors for him. We're two adults. We're two individuals that can do things independently and on our own.
But then I feel like people forget that marriage is all about a partnership. You're like A team, like, you know, for life. And so even if your partner is pulling out favors for you, it's okay, it's natural. Won't you do it for your kid or for your husband or for your wife or for your girlfriend? You're gonna do it. It just comes naturally, right?
What bothers me though about that is that they're never assuming I'm pulling favors for him.
Yeah.
You're only doing it one way.
Exactly.
Are you not realizing that it could, for all you know, be the other way around?
Yes.
You know, it is. I actually literally in that episode which we recorded with Jerry, I said, oh my God, do I need to put my bank statements out there? Because there was these comments about how apparently Jerry or my dad paid for the house, and I was like, I bought this house.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you shame me into keeping quiet about that. I'm bloody proud of myself for it. It's taken a very long time for women to come out and say, I did this without feeling guilt
Exactly.
for anything else or any
so
other
true.
elements.
So true.
So I'm like, please, like, for once, just for the sake of assembling some balance in there, let's assume we're pulling the favors for the men.
I'm so glad that you brought this topic out, that it's always, they assume it one way only, from the men's side, not from the women's side. Because I still remember when I got this car for my parents long back in 2017, and Nikhil came, helped me shoot and everything. It was difficult for me that time, you know. I took the car on loan, and I made sure that I gift my parents that car on their anniversary. And I remember people telling me, she's so smart, she took the money from Nikhil to gift her parents this car, and she's acting like she bought it. And to me that time it was not okay, because I actually worked hard to gift them that car, and to me that was a very special moment, and I felt like people were ruining it for me, you know, in my head, and I was not happy about it. I probably even might have cried for a few minutes thinking that, dude, this is not okay. I told Nikhil, this is not okay. I kind of got angry on him, because I was like, dude, you know, I worked hard for it. Why does it always have to be like the man worked hard for it but the woman cannot? Correct?
Yeah.
And I still remember last year, when
We have to work twice as hard for the credit.
Yeah, very hard. And I think it's sad. It makes me sad sometimes that why can't you just, even some women cannot give other women the credit that, oh, you worked hard for it. They'll say, oh, she, you know, sab pati ka paisa hai, bas aise act karti ki uska hai. You know, I've seen women also say that, and it makes me very upset and sad that why, how can you say that about another woman? And like, I still remember when I was pregnant on my birthday, I happened to buy my first house with my money, and I was so happy about it. I didn't want to tell the audience for quite some time, and then because of some problem with that property, Nikhil said it in his video, like, you know, Shanice bought a house and there are some issues with it, it's going to take time. People just so easily said, Nikhil, don't say it's Shanice's house, we know you bought it for her. And that just completely set me off, because I was already having a bad day, and I was like, please accept it that we can work hard as well. And in the content creation industry, if you're thinking, no, not only men earn money, even women earn money.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he's making that amount of money, even I can. So
Yeah.
please put that in your head.
I think in any industry, not just content creation, right? At the end of the day, women today are talking about pay parity, are
Yeah.
negotiating their packages better. And I think what's really helping, to be honest, is the fact that we're talking to each other about these things. Like, there have genuinely been moments where I've called another creative friend who I know is on a similar campaign as me, and I know that the agency is hardballing it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, should I just drop it? Should I take it? And I'll call a friend who I know is on the campaign, and I'll be like, listen, they're really negotiating. What have you closed on so I can get a
of
ratio
course.
down?
Correct.
And today we're all open to doing
Do
that. Initially, it was we were all playing blind.
Yeah, we didn't know, right?
Pretty much.
Exactly.
Today, because it's become an industry of its own, and it's, you know, so much bigger
Yeah,
today
so
in
much bigger.
2023, we're all in a position where we can be like, listen, let's just talk about it. Let's share numbers and let's know what each other is making, because that
True.
only helps us make even more, because
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
all grow together that way.
Exactly. I completely agree with you on this. It's I feel like it's very important that you share with each other what's happening, because I feel like you said, the agencies sometimes play up and they also tell you, नहीं हमारे पास इतना budget नहीं है, सबको आपसे कम मिल रहा है, but हमने आपके लिए इतना try किया है, and you know, when you have experience after a certain time, you know that's a big lie.
आपके पास वो बॉलीवुड सेलिब्रिटी के ब्रांड एम्बेसडर के इवेंट प्रेजेंस के लिए बजट है,
हाँ.
लेकिन हमारे पिटन्स के लिए
नहीं है.
पिटन्स कंपेयर्ड टू दोस बजट्स.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, this is nice. But I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to someone who's looking to start out as a parent vlogger, right? Technically, this is the category now when you have a child and you're
Yeah.
vlogging.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone else? You're someone that comes from different experiences and has learnt the hard way, I would say,
Yeah,
because you've seen so much, you've experienced so much. What advice would you give to someone who has a kid and wants to start creating content and doesn't mind including their kid in that content?
So, once you become parents, this thought just, if you want to vlog basically with your kid, you just have this thought like, Arey, this content will really do well on YouTube, and, we can grow finally into the vlogging stream. Our channel will be big because we're showing our kid, and you see that it's working out for everybody else as well. A lot of channels just started newly, and because they show their kids, they've like really, really grown. Okay, so that's very normal. But what happens here, the biggest advice I can give any new parent who wants to start vlogging with their kid is that first get it straight in your head that do you want to start vlogging because you enjoy doing it, you want to really share those moments with an audience and you think your audience will enjoy it, or is it because I'm going to show my kid and this is going to only bring me success and I'm running behind that success? Because once you say I'm doing it just to share the natural moments, and maybe we will grow, it's good if we grow and maybe we'll make money through it as well, and it'll just be good memories for us as well, that's fine, that's okay, that's natural,
That's
it's
healthy.
good. Yeah, it's healthy to do. But if you have the other side mentality like अरे इससे हम बहुत पैसा कमा सकते हैं, सब हमारे बच्चे को देखने आएंगे, हमारा बच्चा फेमस हो जाएगा, उसके थ्रू हम फेमस हो जाएंगे और हम we'll get brands, हम भी अमीर हो जाएंगे. So then what happens is that all of a sudden whenever you create a video now, what you'll do is you'll force your child to be more cute, to do more things. You will try to create moments like they're not natural, but you try to create moments that look perfect or look cute. So what happens there now, you're not being a very true parent. I feel like that kind of thing suffers on the internet. So if you are a new parent who wants to start vlogging, just get this thing right in your head, and then I think you can make a choice if you want to do it or not do it. Or at least if you still want to do it for success, you can still tell yourself that no, maybe this is wrong, I think I should take a step back and try another way. I feel that way as a parent. I feel like it's so important to make sure that you're not really just exploiting your child on the internet for the success and for the reach that you thought I couldn't get if I was individually vlogging.
Yeah.
Don't you agree? I think
Integrate your kid, don't exploit your kid.
yeah, don't exploit your kid. I think they don't deserve it because they're such innocent souls being with a baby all the time. I understand they don't understand nothing. They just do anything. And imagine making them do something, they will become that. Tomorrow, by chance, you'll be like, I don't want my child. He's getting spoiled or he's getting spoiled. I feel like the internet is taking over his mind or personality. You cannot stop it. Once the baby is used to it, they are used to it. And then you will be making them feel so bad. Imagine telling your child, no, ab se tu nahi karega, ab se tu nahi aane wali hai vlog mein. How bad will they feel? They feel like all of a sudden my parents are not including me. So you have to think about the future as well. What can go wrong? Don't think about the right things, because eventually everyone loves to see a kid, a puppy, a kitten and all those cute things, and they will come give you love and your child love. But also think about the bad parts that could go wrong in your child's life.
That's really insightful,
Yeah.
Janice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on The Real Deal with Anam C and talking about all of these things. I feel like you've really got like a new, almost like flavor, I want to say, to the way you present your content, especially now with Sky. By the way, never mentioned this through the episode, but Sky is such a unique name.
Yeah.
So I want to put that out
Her
there.
name is actually Skylar, but we call her Sky.
Wait, what?
Yeah, her name is Skylar.
I honestly thought her name was Sky all this time.
No. Her name is Skylar. We call her Pyar Se Sky, Skyu or whatever.
That's so cute. But Skyu is so nice, because in my head, also I think when I was speaking to you
Yeah.
about this, I said Skyu, because in my head now also it's Skyu.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your journey with us and making our Mother's Day episode so special.
Thank you so much for having me. I think it was a very heartfelt conversation, and I felt very nice talking to you about the things otherwise you cannot talk to anybody else.
Well, anytime you want to talk about these things, you're welcome back here for a part 2.
Thank you. You guys let us know if you want a part 2. Definitely we'll do
We
one.
should get Nikhil on board for a dad's
Yeah.
perspective on this also.
Oh, you should. He
I
has
feel
a
like,
lot to say.
Yeah, I was going to say he's going to have a different perspective, I feel.
And he's a very different dad. Nothing like I've seen. So you'll have a lot of fun talking to him about it.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So we play this really fun game
Mm-hmm.
called Associate This on the pod. I'm
Okay.
going to throw words at you.
Okay.
And it's like a rapid fire. And you're
Okay.
going to tell me what you think of when I say these words.
Okay.
Okay?
They make me nervous when someone says rapid fire.
Bikes.
Adventure.
Sleepless nights.
Stress.
YouTube.
Fame and money.
Labor pain.
Oh, the most painful thing ever.
Newborn baby.
Pure joy.
Diapers.
Stinky.
The sky.
sky beautiful.
Aw.
Yeah.
So sweet. Thank you so much for this. I genuinely had a gala time.
Same
filming
here,
this
same here.
episode.
I too, I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't know that the cameras are here. It felt like we're just talking randomly without anyone watching.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal.